All right. So talk about the creative thinking or the creative idea process. Now we're going to talk about how to make sure that you're evaluating and improving your writing, right? So this is what you're going to do after you write. We talked about how to do the before part. You're going to go out and actually write some stuff. And this is how, this is what you do after that. This is how you evaluate and improve your actual writing. And these are the keys that ensure the quality, and it's going to ensure that you actually achieve the results, because every piece of writing has an intended result you're trying to create in the mind of the reader. And this process that I'm going to show you right here is going to help you make sure that no matter what you do, you always actually achieve that result. Yeah, it's not just enough to brain dump a bunch of ideas onto a Google Doc, right? Like, it's not enough to just sit down and just like throw ideas and write stuff and sling words, right? Sling copy, just hammer out ideas. It's not enough to do that, right? That's not what creates winning copy. You need to go back and review what you've written after you've created that initial idea for what your writing should be like in order to improve it until you are confident that it will achieve the desired results, right? Or if not, what are you writing for, right? Writing is an iterative process. You iterate on that idea. Again, it's like the OODA loop. There's a reason that's one of our core values, right? You observe, you pay attention, you orient, you make some decisions, you decide how you want to write things, you actually make a decision for what you want to do, you write your copy, and then you reevaluate it. You go back to the process again, you observe the writing, you determine whether or not it's doing good or not, you make a decision for something you're going to want to change, and then you make a change. And you keep doing that process over and over again until you win, right? Writing is an iterative process. You don't just do it once, one and done. You write, and then you iterate on that writing until it's actually going to achieve the results. So the step one, the first thing you do after you've written copy, you've written out, for this example, you've written some fascinations, right? The next thing you do is you actually sit down and you read that copy out loud, right? Now, for some reason, I'm not exactly sure why, when you use your actual voice to read the copy, it allows you to detach from the actual writing of it, and it allows you to identify issues, right? You're going to start noticing parts that are clunky or sound weird when you read it out loud. You're going to realize certain parts aren't as impactful as others. You're going to realize that for some reason, if you read it out loud, it allows you to perceive it as if you are that other person. You can pretend you're that avatar a little bit better if you just read the copy out loud, right? Things that make sense in your head don't always make sense when you write them out loud or when you say them out loud. So it's important that you read that. And as you're doing that, the second step is you want to imagine how the avatar will perceive the writing, right? What effect will this line or will this fascination create in the reader's mind? Like, what is actually going to happen? Something to keep in mind is, as copywriters, we control the written dialogue. We control what they read, right? And it's going to trigger a response in their brain, right? Ideally, we're really trying to, I mean, sure, the words we write are important, but really what we're trying to do is we're trying to orchestrate the responses that they have inside of their own mind, right? So as you're reading your copy, you need to imagine to the best of your ability what effect the avatar is going to have when they read that certain thing. And you just do that by pretending you're the avatar and you read the copy out loud and you kind of see what happens inside of your own mind and you imagine what they might experience. It's extremely important to see what that effect is. If there's an issue, if you're not sure exactly what to do or how to fix it, you can ask yourself, like, what can I do to trigger the effect I want in the reader's mind right here, right? So if you reach a point where it's not really happening, you just need to try and reverse engineer, and you can ask your subconscious mind, what can I do to trigger the effects I want here? And you'll come up with some ideas and you'll find one that works, right? The third thing you do is a grammar and spelling check. Usually you don't really need to worry about that as you're writing your copy the first time. You can fix that at the end, but you really want to go back through after you've kind of finalized the words that you're going to use and make sure that your grammar is good and your spelling is good. Grammar and spelling errors will make you look like an amateur in the eyes of your reader, right? They'll think to themselves, if this is how bad he writes and he controls his grammar, I wonder how bad the product he's selling is. It's a reflection on that. There's a saying that I lived by in the military for a long time, and that is, how you do the little things is how you do the big things. How you do the little things is how you do everything, right? So your grammar is important. It's easy to make mistakes. I might have made a few in some of these slides you guys might notice, but you're going to want to start using tools like Grammarly.com or HemingwayApp.com, especially if English isn't your first language and you're writing in English. You're going to want to use those tools and some others out there to ensure perfect grammar and perfect spelling every time, right? You always need to review your own copy, right? Never skip that step. You're not done writing until you've iterated through at least once or twice to refine it. You iterate through your copy. You make sure it produces the results you desire. You'll learn more about copy during the review process of your copy, as well as reviewing other people's copy, than you'll ever would without it, right? It's the key to getting deeper insight into how humans function, how the writing actually works. You need to make a practice of reviewing your copy after you write it. You want to review other people's copy as much as possible, whether that's other students or great pieces of copy that you'll get access to. You want to go through this process as much as possible because it helps you learn, right? It's key. This is how you make sure that your writing actually produces the results you want, so that you're not just wasting your time writing words. You're actually writing words that create an effect in the mind of the reader that gets them to do something valuable for them and for you.